review. Can't forget that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get out.
Hey guys, you know, he's my right-hand man. He's been with me 5 years. Let's give him Rocco! And I'm psyched, Rocco, because there's a couple. Let's talk about a couple of movies coming down the pipe before we get to the review.
Yeah, okay.
One is about Roberto Duran, Hands of Stone. I am so psyched for that. Talks about, to me, one of the great mysteries in sports history. Here's a guy that was a champion, a tough guy, and he just quit in the 8th round. Just one of the great sports mysteries of all time. And the other one, which is coming out, I can't wait for this. To me, movies are the best when they're based on a true story, and I cannot wait for Sully. It's coming out September 9th. This guy, to land a plane on the Hudson, not one fatality, is one of the great stories of our time. How this great pilot landed a plane that was an inexperienced pilot, you would have had a major catastrophe. But he so calmly landed it on the Hudson. I can't wait. And if you don't know, playing Sully in the movie is Tom Hanks. It's directed by Clint Eastwood. So, Rocco, I can't wait to hear those reviews coming up.
No, I'm excited.
But Rocco has a good one coming up for today.
The film that I'm doing this week is another one based on a true story. This is called War Dogs. It's directed by Todd Phillips and it stars Jonah Hill and Miles Taylor. It's based on a book called Arms and the Dudes. It tells the tale of Ephraim Devoli, played by Hill, and his childhood friend David Pacus, played by Teller, who are arms dealers who receive a government contract to supply weapons for American troops fighting in Afghanistan. The thing that I first noticed about War Dogs is that it's very similar to Wolf on Wall Street, which was another story based on a true story, another story about young guys getting involved in the wrong thing, basically, and they end up living a high life off of that. They end up getting everything they ever want, but then they end up realizing that maybe what they wanted wasn't so great. The consequences that come from all that. The only problem, though, when you compare this film to Wolf of Wall Street is Wolf of Wall Street, they make it pretty abundantly clear that these people are bad people and that, they get their comeuppance from ultimately at the end of this. War Dogs, you don't really see that quite so much. The thing about War Dogs is that it's obviously one of those films. It's made by Todd Phillips, who's made films like Old School, the Hangover movies, and Road Trips. So there's an expectation from those types of movies that you see these two bros, hanging out and kind of living the dream, so to speak. So there really isn't as much of a focus on the consequences of their actions as maybe some would like. I mean, it's kind of a missed opportunity, honestly, because it's such a great, interesting story about guys, how these young guys were able to, get, government jobs being, handed, to hand people, our troops, basically, our American troops fighting Afghanistan weapons, basically. And I feel like a film, that's focused mainly on, the whole rise of these two guys really is a service to the whole story in terms of, the lives that they affected with this whole thing. So I feel like, not that the movie's terrible, it's a decent movie, but I feel like that the film really was a missed opportunity. I feel like they really could have done more with this idea instead of just mainly marketed as like another frat boy movie to teens and 20-somethings. But that's what we have here, pretty much. There are some really good points in the movie. It is a fun and entertaining movie. Jonah Hill is phenomenal in this, as he was in The Wolf of Wall Street. So, but other than that, I feel like the movie really fell short of, what Jonah Hill brings to it, unfortunately. With Wolf of Wall Street, you had a film that really said something, and you don't really feel like this is really saying much, unfortunately. And like I said, it's a nice little fun little, romp of a film, but I feel like what the story was about, there could have been more to it than that. So I give War Dogs 2 out of 5 stars. So thank you very much.